Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Janice, your moderator for this conference. Welcome to the conference call of Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers Limited, arranged by Concept Investor Relations to discuss its Q2 and H1 FY22 results. We have with us today Rear Admiral Shri V.K. Saxena, Indian Navy retired Chairman and Managing Director, and Shri R.K. Dash, Director Finance. At this moment, all participant lines are in the listen-only mode. Later, we will conduct a question-answer session. At that time, if you have a question, please press star then 1 on your touchtone telephone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I would now like to hand the conference over to Shri V.K. Saxena. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
A very good afternoon to all the participants for this Concall today, and I extend a very, very warm welcome to all of you for joining today the discussions on the financial results and performance of the company quarter 2 ending September 30th of this financial year. I'm sure that you all must have had a good time after the tough phase of the corona wave second, and the festival season must have gone off well of the Durga Puja, the Dashara, Diwali, and all other festivals. And I'm sure that all must be safe, your near dear ones. As you know that the company has also come out quite okay with regard to the second wave of the COVID, and of course Q1 was affected, but quarter 2 somehow has been much better. While one would say that now the effects are much lesser, but we are still abiding by the government guidelines, norms, and COVID appropriate behavior in terms of the numbers of the people that can work in various groups on board ships and workshops. Therefore, size of the groups, etc., remains still lesser. We cannot have the same big set of the people working on board ships to achieve that kind of results. However, you would have noticed that despite of all those constraints, the lessons that we have learned last year and after the wave 2 of the COVID, all those strategies which we have learned, implemented, have really started giving fantastic results. And because of that, the performance in the Q2 have been very, very, very encouraging. And we are happy that with these kind of things happening and results being good, we are quite hopeful that we should be performing even much better in the coming quarters. Of course, we are very cautious and careful about the likely third wave, but we all hoping, again, hope that it should not really come up and impact us and the country as such. Now, let me quickly brief you about some of the financial aspects of the company. I would like to compare the quarter half yearly, the first half of this financial year compared to the first half of the previous year, that was 2020. You see the revenue from operations have gone up by 90% if you compare with the first half of last year, 90%, and then that's 382 crore was the last year's figure, and this year it is 726. The EBITDA has also gone up by around 80%. Most importantly, the operating profit has shown a very, very huge jump and improvement. That is 2.9 times the increase. PBT has also gone up by 94%. The PAT has also moved up to 110%. The margins have been very, very good, encouraging. EBITDA margin has increased from 15 to 16%. PBT margin has increased from 12 to 14%. And PAT margin has gone up from 8 to 10%. Now, if we compare, generally I don't look at quarter-on-quarter comparison. However, it would be worthwhile again to say because of the COVID situation and how we have moved. from the last quarter to this quarter. So that is the reason I'm trying to again highlight to our valued investors how we have performed and fared as compared to the previous quarter of this financial year. So in the previous quarter, we had around 304 crores as a revenue from operations, and now it has moved up by 39% to 452 crores. Similarly, the total income has also moved up by 33% from 344 crores to 458 crores. The operating profit has gone up by 8.5 times. So the operating loss was 6 crores. It has now moved up to 45 crores operating profit. Similarly, PBT has gone up by 3 times from 26 crores to 82 crores. PAT has also moved up around 2.85 times from 21 crores to 59 crores. Margins, EBITDA margin has moved up from 10% to 20%. PBT margin has also moved up from 8 to 18%. PAT margin has gone up from 6 to 13%. So these are the broader financial performance when you look in the light of the backdrop of the Corona COVID impact, and still I would say the supply chain is what was the effect and impact still are limping back, and we are heavily dependent on the supply chain and manpower. Manpower already told you that still we are continuing with all the restrictions in place. We cannot have those numbers, and also the huge number of the equipment, material, etc., which depends on the supply chain, and that is also coming back on track slowly. Against all these things, you have seen that how well we have performed. Now I'll brief you about the projects which the shipyard is handling. As you're aware that we are handling as of now. Last time I told you that we had 5 projects, but now we have the 6th project also in our hand. That is basically 3 projects of the Indian Navy. You're aware that 17 Alpha, 3 stealth missile frigates. Then we have got survey vessel project for 4 ships construction. Then we have got 8 ASW shallow watercraft projects. So all in all, 15 warships for the Indian Navy against the 3 projects. 1 fast petrol vessel of the Coast Guard, and 1 export order against the construction and supply of the cargo and passenger ferry for government of Guyana. So that makes it 17. Now also we have got the export order from government of Bangladesh for construction of the 6 boats, patrol boats for the Fishery Department of Bangladesh. So this is how the 17 plus 6, these many numbers are the platform that is being built under different stages of the construction. And the order book is again healthy, 25,071 crores is the order book as of now. And I would say that the refit vertical also, as I have been saying, that we have been really putting a lot of efforts in strengthening the refit activities in the shipyard. And as a result of that, I'm happy to inform that despite of the troubles of the COVID second wave, when the ship came here from Mauritius all the way from there, it is offshore petrol vessel which we made it for the government of Mauritius. She came here for the refit, and this refit was at the cost of around we had 21 crores for the cost of the refit, and we have successfully completed the refit, and the ship has gone back to the Mauritius, and they have appreciated the efforts put in by the GRSE. And we have also got small orders from the Coast Guard here and there on the refit. Now we have entered into the concession agreement with the Kolkata Port Trust, and they are having the 3 dry docks of KOPT on lease. And this is all with the strategy to have the maximum marine assets with us, so that the refits of the Navy and the Coast Guard can be handled at a very efficient pace within least of the time, because dry dock is very, very important essential thing. I'm sure that this initiative is going to be beneficial and helpful to the company in the coming months and years. You must be aware that we have also signed the MOU with the Naval Group France for design and construction collaboration for the surface combatant, not only within the country, but also elsewhere. Can jointly go out and explore the possibilities of getting some kind of orders. As regard to the performance, when I'm saying of the financials, important point to note that so far the company was heavily dependent on the revenue generation from the 17 Alpha project, which you know that the highest, I would say the biggest cost project, that was 19,289 crores. But survey vessel large project and ASW shallow water craft project were just coming out from the phase 1, some ships, and then coming towards the phase 2. I'm happy to report to you that the survey vessel and ASW shallow water craft project has also started giving us a good amount of revenue if I compare it with the previous year's half-year performance. So in that, almost 300 crores in this first half of this year we got from these two projects. Like in SVL, survey vessel project, we got 162 odd crores as a revenue from operations. And also in the ASW shallow water craft project, we got 141.35 as against 13.23 and 5.2 crores in the previous half of the previous year. So that is actually showing a fantastic kind of a performance. And as I've been saying that, now the ships under construction are moving into more mature phases. Therefore, we expect the larger revenue is going to be coming from all these three projects in addition to 17 Alpha, that is SVL and ASW shallow water craft project also. Similarly, my other units, that is the Belly Bridge unit, that has also given us a much better revenue compared to the previous year's half-year performance. Similarly, the tech machinery unit, that is Karatala unit, and also the diesel engine plant has given us much better revenue in this first half of this year. So all in all, I would say the various units and also the shipbuilding project are giving us a very good kind of a revenue generation. And also the now we have some major events that is scheduled, and that is actually the result of the good, I would say, construction progress. The government of Guyana, for whom we are making the ferry and passenger craft, that is the cargo passenger ferry craft. The keel laying would be performed shortly. That is going to be happening on 20th of November, and their high dignitaries are coming all the way from there. So it is going to be a big event. We will be also carrying out the launching of the first survey vessel, which is under construction at the GRSE on 5th/6th of December, and that will be a very big event. We will be also in the month of December, we will be laying the keel of the second ASW shallow water craft. So this is how we expect that some of the big events that would be unfolding. We will also be seeing the launch of the second survey vessel, which is under construction at the L&T Katapuli. For us, that ship is also expected to be launched by March or April, most likely in March. So that will be happening in this financial year, most likely, if all goes well. So therefore, the progress of the projects, especially 17 Alpha, is going on quite nicely. Second ship is also expected. I told you that second 17 Alpha is expected to be launched ahead of schedule. Of course, that will be not happening now. But why I'm saying to all of you now is that the progress of the work is very, very good, very healthy, despite of the restrictions which we are facing. So I'm quite hopeful that we will be doing at least 2 to 3 months ahead of schedule launching of the second 17, that is stealth missile frigate launching. And third ship construction is also happening quite nicely. Survey vessel, I told you that first ship is going to be launched, and second ship survey vessel will be launched by March or so. We have already completed the keel laying of the first ASW shallow water craft, and the keel of the second ship will be laid in the month of December. And the production of the third and fourth ship has already started. Rest all on the pre-production stages. So all in all, these three big projects are going to be doing quite well, and hopefully they should be giving us much more better and higher revenues in the coming months ahead, going ahead. So this is the major thing which I have to inform all of you at this juncture, and I'm sure that during the question and session, whatever things you have in mind, I will be trying to answer all queries if you have any. Once again, thank you very much, and ready to take on any questions if you have.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Bhagesh Kagalkar from HDFC Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. I have two questions here. One is regarding the order book. What is the visibility for next 6 months where we are targeting the orders, both in shipbuilding and the exports as well as the refit vertical? And second is on the margins. Margins have been quite strong this quarter, but there have been cost push pressure on a lot of fronts, even in other expenses, essentially. So what is the strategy going forward?
Yeah, as far as the, thank you very much for your questions. As far as the orders are concerned, you are aware that in warship building, especially the orders, whether it is from the domestic, from Navy or Coast Guard or any other organization, or even if you look at abroad, for the warships, it doesn't happen that fast. So while the some of the RFPs are already there with the MOD, that is for the NGOPVs, fast petrol vessels, and the hovercraft, etc. That is going to be, that will be opening up. Then only we'll get to know that who is the L1 after that TNC technical investigation gets over. So immediately I won't say that there's anything.
What is the size of that RFP thing, total?
Yeah, so I would say that the fast petrol vessel engine number PV constructions in the range of around 800 crores. The new generation offshore petrol vessels, 7 plus 4, 11. So L1 will make 7 and 4 will be made by the L2. So the cost would be in the range of around close to 8,000 odd crores. And similarly, the hovercrafts also in the range of around 500 odd crores. So these are the, as of now, things which are in which we are in. And as and when the various process at the Ministry of Defence happens in terms of the technical evaluations followed by the opening of the bids, etc., we'll see that. Even then the bids get open and one becomes L1, still that the ordering process takes at least a year or so. So therefore, suffice to say that immediately next 6 months, I don't see any visibility of order coming in hand. Of course, we have also been export front. We have been bidding and say, especially Bangladesh, because export, as you've seen that, we have made fairly decent progress, not big one, but a small step we have taken. We have got, last year we got the order for the Guyana, around $13 million. We also got back the order of the FPV, which we have already supplied. It was around 12 odd million, 25 million. Plus, we could get the refit order from the Mauritius, which we have completed around 3 odd million. And from the Bangladesh, we have also got a smaller order of 6 petrol vessels. We have also submitted bids for 2 odd projects of the Bangladesh. So this is something happening. And then larger orders of the warship construction, the discussions are on. I've been explaining to all our investors and everybody that these are the, I would say, between the bigger things, between the government to government and then the business to government and vice versa. So therefore, I do not see immediately in next 3 to 6 months something big that would be coming our way. Maybe the smaller orders would be here and there, would be there. But substantial one, of course, I don't see anything happening. Second thing, when you ask about the margins, you have seen that the margins are improving, and in warship building, if you recall that, the margins were earlier just 7.5%. Now, we have been showing good performance. because of the lot of initiatives we have taken, a lot of measures we have taken, stronger measures we have taken to cut down the various costs, expenditures, etc., and process improvements have happened, refinement of the process happened, etc., etc. So therefore, I am seeing that there is certainly an encouraging upward movement, and in coming time, our effort would be that yes, we must be able to improve it further and make it more better. But there's a limit too, because the margins in any case are not going to be so. Whatever margins when we bid for it, that are not much margins, but everything is depending on what internally I am doing within that much availability within the process and other things. As a result, you are seeing that those improvements I can go up to 4%, 5%, 6% improvement at the most. So safely, I would say around 12, 13%. As of now, I am targeting that if I am able to reach a PAT margin, if you look at that 13% or so, I am targeting to reach there in the shipbuilding activities. So therefore, I am quite hopeful that the company is quite well prepared now, and with those kind of things which we have already implemented, I can see a much better result. And yes, I must add up that the many other initiatives we have taken in terms of bringing in technology, especially in shipbuilding, which is a manual, labor-intensive work, and of course supply chain dependent. So a lot of technological interventions have been brought in the supply chain activities, the design activities, AI-enabled design things are there, and then in the quality assurance activities, production activity, we are getting some element of AI, etc. I hope that in the times ahead, these things would certainly give us much more better, I would say, margins going ahead.
Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot for answering my question.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Viraj Mithani from Jupiter Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Congratulations on the outstanding numbers.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. My question was regarding this cost of raw material and this contracting charges. How can you explain why have they gone up so significantly in this quarter?
See, the cost of raw material going up and such things, you would know that the raw material cost, which is, that primarily the steel, as far as the warship building is concerned, along with the steel is aluminium, which is insignificant, and along with the steel is the consumables in terms of the electrodes, in terms of wires and such other things. So globally, the prices are going up, metal prices are going up, hence the warship grade steel is also going up. But when you see the quarter-on-quarter comparison, now how fast and what kind of thing you are, how many numbers of the ship you are constructing at that juncture, you are drawing up that much of material from the stores, or you are procuring that much of things. So it is a good sign that the cost of the material, what you see, the raw material is going up. It's a good sign. That means you are using so much of material. You are concurrently constructing 17 ships. So imagine that no shipyard in the country is constructing 17 ships concurrently. So this is what the GRSC is actually doing. And in fact, I have not mentioned because of the paucity of time in my opening address that as per my strategy, GRSC, we are building some ships in the L&T Katapoli as a part of the internal strategy to utilize the resources which is idling and available elsewhere, so that content construction can go on and the ships can be built faster, and the revenue can come in much more higher, and the delivery to the customers can happen on time or ahead of schedule. So at my cost, which I want, and then the people have, L&T has come up and actually, giving us the kind of construction work. So this is what is paying a lot of dividend to us. So this is how you should read in the positive sign that yard material is getting consumed more, cost is more.
And so the subcontracting charges, is it the same way we should read it? It has gone up from 18 crores to 61 crores. It's the same thing, is it? So
very, very correct, because if I am drawing the material, it has to be fabricated, it should be erected, it should be outfitted, isn't it? So that means so many number of are going to be working at different places. So the subcontracting cost also is going to go up. So this is actually a reflection of how much activity is going on.
Correct. And sir, is it fair to think that in the next coming quarters, since we have built up so much, some spillover effect of the profits would be in the next coming quarters also, because of this charges becoming plateauing out there? And how should one read this thing, actually?
See, let me again tell you, the profit and profit margins are depending on the whatever the, I think initially you have accorded the margins and based on the input and output cost, whatever things are there. So you know that equation. But certainly what is happening is that the scale at which we are constructing, the efficiency level that is being brought in, process that is being improved upon, you know that lesser number of people being deployed, but I am getting higher outcome. My different activities are moving on at much more high speed. So what does all this mean? It means my operating profit and margins, etc., are going to go up. If you see the results, I told you the operating profit has gone up around 3 times. So this is how the trend is coming in, and I'm sure that in the coming quarters, the operating profit is going to be showing much, much better figures. So that is a very encouraging sign for all of us.
And so my last question is, like, how are we? What is our thought process to get protected against surge in raw material prices? Because as we hear, there's a lot of shortages. There's a lot of there are no containers, and the prices are shooting. Suppose they shoot up exponentially. What are our thought process?
Don't worry. I can tell you that thankfully, India is self-reliant as far as the warship grade steel is concerned. All this warship grade steel that is called DMR 249 alpha is getting produced within the country, and I am not having any shortages of any of such raw materials, as far as the warship building is concerned. So that is not an issue, because there was certainly an issue and those plants where the COVID had affected, but container problem is for either receiving it from abroad or sending it abroad. So those things are not affecting us. So there is a good news for all of us, especially for GRSE, that nobody has to worry as far as the raw material availability is concerned. The cost, etc., is not that badly fluctuating. Is all factored. And
are we
already placed the orders, and we have got a rate contract in place. So every quarter with the sale, we keep having a revision up and down, whatever thing happens. So which is within the range which has already been factored into our overall costing.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rohit Natarajan from Antique Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
Thank you for this opportunity. So you said in your opening remarks about advancing the second unit of 317A, and help us understand how does that execution pattern changes from here now onwards. What percentage of the work will be done in this year, and how that will be spread over the next few years for all the 3 units?
See, I think I have been explaining to all our investors in the previous investors meet. What has happened, what again I would say it for the benefit of others and as well as to answer your question, that in warship building, the curve of the construction with respect to the time and the percentage construction achieved with respect to the time and respect to the y-axis, you say how much percentage that has been completed, and along with that the so-called revenue recognition also. So it is divided into 3 phases. Phase 1 is primarily the hull construction, where generally the input is the yard material, that is the steel and the labor. So steel doesn't give you much, so about 25 to 30% of the time, and the percentage you have nothing big, but hull gets ready. And once the ship is about to get launched or getting launched, you get into phase 2 of the construction, where you start having a lot of outputting work, a lot of machinery, equipment, weapon sensors, and many other things start going on board. And they are all high-valued things. Plumbing starts happening, cabling starts happening, the machineries, pumps, motors, HVAC, so many things start happening. They start giving you value. So up to say 60%, 65% of the time and the construction, there phase 2 you get the maximum revenue coming in on board against a particular ship construction. Phase 3 is the one where we have started having almost all the equipment has gone on board to start doing the connectorization, the integration, setting the work, testing, tuning, trials, etc. So this is a longish phase, a painful phase. You get a lesser amount of revenues once you prove a system to the customer. And finally, that means the revenue recognition starts, or the revenue starts dropping. You don't get much. So phase 3 doesn't give you much. So hence, your question about the second ship of the 17 Alpha, generally is a very big ship. It is 6,670 ton each ship. Highly complicated, complex ships as far as the construction is concerned. Now the second ship, generally we were doing 1% per month on an average as far as the first ship is concerned. That is for 17 Alpha. In the second ship, based on the different lessons we have learned, I am generally averaging close to 1.5% per month as of now, which is still the hull construction which is happening, phase, the second ship. And that is actually happening very fast. So I am going to be in a position to complete the hull construction much ahead of schedule, and along with the hull construction, I am putting a lot of seats, I am putting a lot of equipment also as a part of modular interior construction technology. As a result, I'll be having much more higher revenue getting recognized in this particular second ship based on the design maturity and many other lessons that has been learned. So it will be much better than the first ship. So second ship is doing quite well that way, and I have already achieved, I would say, close to 17% construction. And the ship is planned to be launched somewhere in May or so, June next year, as against the scheduled launching of August or so. So imagine that is the kind of progress that is being achieved. Similarly, the third ship also, it is right now at the hull construction around 3.5% is the construction that is happening. But at number of places, the different blocks and the different units are under construction concurrently. So this is the kind of work that is happening on the 17 Alpha.
Okay. So in terms of value, how much can be recognized from first unit and how much can be recognized with second unit in the coming?
I would say that, let me again tell you, as far as the second ship is concerned, we have already recognized somewhere around 163 odd crores in the second ship in FY22. As again the FY21, that was only 48 crores. So you're seeing that it has gone up so much. And now in coming quarters, this figure is going to be again going up much higher. Okay, so therefore this curve which you are seeing, that I told you that if my hull is going to get ready and by next 3-4 months, the hull part will be coming to a good shape. And therefore, I am now lowering the equipment also because equipment has started coming. So this is how the second ship is also going to give us a fairly good revenue recognition.
Assume that you can calculate 1% for the unit 1 and 1.5% for the second unit every month. That's the way we should see it as a part of the order backlog.
It is again the average. See, at times you may find that if I am lowering the gas turbines, if I have lowered the main engine, which is fairly big ones. So therefore, in that month, the month which I lower all this equipment, that will also add up that much of a value. In some months, if I am not lowering equipment, but a lot of hull work is happening. While the work has happened, too many units have got fabricated, erected, and integrated, but the hull doesn't give you that much of the percentage. But the equipment, when it goes on board ship, that not only gives you percentage, but it gives you more revenue also. So we should not draw a straight comparison that between months to months. But average, I am saying that if I am achieving average of 1.5%, such a huge shift is quite good. And I'm aiming that in the coming months, probably after a couple of months, the revenue recognition would be much more and percentage construction would be much more higher when we have the complete hull almost getting ready and it is ready to receive so many number of equipment on board ship. Say, for example, if your hull is ready, it has got 500 plus kilometers of the cabling in one ship. Now, I can run the cable comfortably because the entire ship inside is almost hull is built. So that cabling can continue to be happening. The plumbing which is running in and say around close to 35 or 40 kilometers of plumbing activities that will be going on in the ship. So this is going to give me so much of the revenue and percentage construction completion also. This is how the technique is used in the warship construction.
Okay. Help me understand, sir, the survey vessel and ASW, you said in your initial remarks that the number execution has been much more stronger in comparison to the base year. If I see your margins, can I infer that Unit 1, you have achieved that threshold, phase 1, phase 2 is done, and now we are moving to a phase where margins are not as high? Whereas these survey vessel and ASW is the execution that helps you to clock higher margin. Is that inference correct?
Please let me again tell you, as far as when we work on the balance sheet, when we do the accounting, etc., yes, the individual projects are also looked at individually. But when we present the balance sheet and when we present the financials to all of you, is the cumulative profit and the margins, etc. So it will not be fair to talk about, somewhere you have a higher one, somewhere you have a lower one, so that you average it out. But one thing good is that both these projects, that we have won it on a competitive bidding basis against many other shipyards. And therefore, the pressure was always there. But thankfully, with the kind of things which we have been able to implement and see the success of those strategies, it is giving me confidence that even in these projects, 2 projects also, we are having a decent margin that will be coming up. That is also adding up into my overall margins of the company. So all in all, the margins which was not beyond 7.5% or 8%, now you see that how it is quarter on quarter. Even last year in the thick of the corona, while my top line was not that high, my bottom line was much better. And also the margins were much better than the pre-pandemic year. So the last year you see that what we have done, and this year you already seen the trailer. In Q1 and Q2, my margins are moving up steadily. So that means whatever I could implement in the toughest of the time in corona, that is actually showing up the fantastic results in the, I would say, wave 2, post-wave 2, and hopefully it is going to take us forward, and we have to only continue ensuring that steadfast approach and achieve those desired results. So I'm pretty confident that we should be consistent in our performance. This consistency is important. I'm not expecting any spurt. I'm not expecting any great kind of a thing going forward. But yes, it will be consistently going up. It will be very decent and consistent.
Sure, sir. Sir, then if I have to look at the cash position in your book as such, how does this move? In fact, we have seen a lowering of your other income, and so the cash position was lower, but your order book is intact. I mean, in fact, it's by and large steady. How does that explain the position?
Yes, so the cash is concerned. If you see that when you see my bank accounts, around 3,600 plus odd crores are there in that. But there's all except 96 crores, which is our internal listing accruals. Rest all is the project money which is being received against the stage completions from the customer. And when I say there is against the stage completion, that is towards the project only, and they are lying in the bank. So when I start discharging certain jobs and payments, etc., to the various vendors and suppliers and other activities, they are going to be again coming out, and those will be utilized against the projects. So over the period of time, you'll find that these so-called stage payments will be eventually utilized towards the project execution. But with that, my operating profits and the margins, etc., are going to be going up. So in effect or in totality, I would say the things will balance out.
Yes, if I see the cash position, is it right to infer that?
Sorry to interrupt. May I please request you to rejoin the queue for your follow-up?
I will get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Hardik Jain from Whitestone Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. So as you mentioned that now the second ship of 17 Alpha is also will also start contributing to the revenue at a faster pace, and also survey vessel and ASW projects have come out of the first phase and now start contributing to the revenue at a faster pace, and we have other ships also which will advance in their stage of progress. So we can we assume that henceforth for next few quarters and also the next year, the revenue numbers will only move up as these projects go in advanced stage of completion.
Yeah, I would say that rather than looking at the absolute numbers, but I'm pretty confident if you see the trend that is happening, that the Q1 and now the Q2, and going forward Q3, Q4 in this financial years, I expect overall this financial year numbers are should be much better than the previous financial years. In fact, all numbers, if you look at the revenue from operations, top line, you look at the bottom line, you look at the operating profits, etc., and all such things should be much better in this financial year and then beyond also, because you see that if you have 17 platforms under construction and they are already moving forward concurrently without much of the entrance. Of course, entrance were there because of the COVID, but you are all watching that how we have overcome all those hindrances and the worst two things of the labor shortage as well as supply chain disruption. We have successfully overcome that, and we are seeing in the Q1 and Q2 now. So therefore, when the ship is constructed or getting constructed and different percentage of construction being achieved, correspondingly the revenue also will be coming up. If you have so many platforms getting constructed, for example, when I'm saying that the second 17 Alpha is also achieving a much better percentage of construction per month than the first ship. So obviously, the second ship of the 17 Alpha is going to be giving us a good revenue. First ship is also continuing because that is now in the phase 2 of the construction. So that is also going to be giving us a decent revenue. Okay. Similarly, survey vessel and ASW ship. Now, survey vessel, and I'm saying the second ship is also getting launched most likely in March 2022. So naturally, the number of equipment that will be going on board ships will be much higher. And within 3 or 4 months' time, the third survey vessel also will get launched. And likewise. So therefore, going forward, in the next financial year, a lot of ships will be reaching to phase 2 construction.
Yeah.
Right. And the ASW shallow watercraft out of 8, which are, I would say, 4 ships are under pre-production stage. They all will be coming to the production stage. So they will be at least in the phase 1. They will keep giving me something. So all ships probably next financial will be under fabrication different stages. So imagine the amount of revenue that would be coming up. So going forward, I am very, very sure, quite hopeful that if no other impediment external to us comes in, we should be doing much better.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Arshit Kapadia from Elara Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity, sir, and congratulations for very strong performance in this quarter.
Thank you.
Couple of questions. So first, if you can highlight in one of the RFI which was issued in the month of August 2021, the landing platform dock. So is it that one of the projects are we interested in, or do we have the capability, and what will be the size of that tender? And you can also highlight at what stage do you think it would enter into the tendering stage, and we can order it if we are able to use it.
See, yes, there was an RFI that has come out from the MOD on behalf of the Navy about the construction of 4 LPD. And they have asked our inputs along with other shipyards. We have forwarded our inputs to them. And if they accept our suggestions to make the RFP, whenever it gets converted into the RFP form, from RFI to give wider, I would say, participation by some shipyards, because we have the capability in the form of our assets, marine assets, the dry docks. We have a huge dry dock of 180 meters and 10,000 ton capacity. And there are different, I would say, propositions there, different strategy we have suggested. So there are those things I cannot reveal at this point of time, but yes, we have given very strong kind of suggestions. And we do hope that if those things are accepted by the Navy, then we are in for the competition. And I hope that that would be probably beneficial for the country and for the shipyard and for us, because I would certainly say that we should look at the wider competition. More shipyards should be able to participate rather than it becoming more restrictive in nature. So those are the way suggestions we have forwarded to the Navy and MOD, and do hope that some positive thing will come in future. We'll have a number of deliberations in the coming months, so I'm quite sure that we should be able to convince them. Let's see that how it goes. But as of now, we cannot say that yes, we are in or we are out. This is RFI only.
Fair enough, sir. That was very helpful. Secondly, sir, if you can also highlight, you mentioned the launch date for your 17 ships, or tentatively what are the under construction work which is going on. Can you also highlight the delivery timeline for these ships, for P-17 Alpha, FVC and more Corvette? That would give us more visibility.
First of all, I must tell you that warship construction is a long lead activity, has got a long gestation period. Now, and 17 Alpha in particular depends a lot on the maturity of the design, which is dependent on the large number of major weapon sensors equipment that is being selected by the Indian Navy, that is the prime customer. The basic design is also being done by the Directorate of Naval Design at Naval Headquarters, New Delhi. So, therefore, there were a lot of, it's the first of that sort of a 17 Alpha design which is happening by the Directorate of Naval Design. So, therefore, the classical maturity of design is not possible. Hence, it has got associated impediment and time impact, time penalties. But all in all, things are going on now. A lot of things have been picked up. And therefore, looking like that when we are talking about, first we should look at the launching. Because after the launch, a lot of weapon and sensors are going to be coming on board ship. So, therefore, some equipment which are very major ones, they are required to be finalized. Some equipment that has been ordered by us on behalf of the Navy, and they are going to be coming from, so their delivery timelines are important. So that is not directly in our control. So therefore, as of now, I would say the progress of the construction at this juncture is going on quite fine. And first ship delivery, if we are able to receive the various equipment and weapon and sensors, etc., we should seeing in around 2.5 years time of the first ship delivery, if all things goes well. The survey vessel, see, launching, not all 17 ships are getting launched together. I told you the launching of the first survey vessel large out of 4 ships I am constructing, that will be launched on 5th or 6th of December. Okay, so that is one major event that is going to be happening. The second 17 Alpha stealth missile frigate is also moving quite fast, and that is expected to be launched in the month of May/June and next year. So which will be 2 or 3 months ahead of schedule. So at this point of time, I am only looking at that how concurrently different resources are required to put in different ships, which are moving almost concurrently. So therefore, the delivery of the first survey vessel should be happening first, which is going to be launched now in December. Somewhere around September/October will be the delivery, because let's not forget there has been a 6.5 months of the force measure that is Government of India has given us. So that is something it's going to be, and plus other associated issues and troubles that has come in. So that has been recognized by the Navy also. So the first survey vessel is going to be delivered. So that is immediately going to be happening in next financial year, right? And 17 Alpha is little away, as far as delivery is concerned, subject to a lot of things coming in. So the progress of the project is generally quite good. ASW project is thankfully going on quite satisfactorily as far as the design maturity is concerned. Around 90% design maturity has been achieved. It is being done in a classical, integrated construction. So that is actually going on quite fine because it is our own design, in-house indigenous design at GRSE, survey vessel and ASW shallow watercraft. So everything under my control. So my design is moving quite fast. My equipment ordering is happening quite fast, both for survey vessel and for the ASW shallow watercraft. In fact, survey vessel large, we have been able to receive large number of equipment, generally few months delay here and there because of the COVID. So the situation is quite good.
Fair enough, sir, and good to know this. Just lastly, a bookkeeping question. Can you give us a breakup of the order book of 25,000 crores in terms of P17 Alpha, SVC, and Corvette, which earlier used to give?
Yeah, I tell you that as far as the 17 Alpha is concerned, the total orders was in the range of 19,000 plus crores. The survey vessel project was, when it was ordered to us, was around 400 odd crores was the cost, which includes the base and depot spares. I'm saying that apart from the project cost, base and depot spares were also required to be given. Similarly, the ASW shallow watercraft 8 ships were at the cost of around 6,311 crores, something like that. So 8 ships. So you can now put, so whatever we have already executed, you take up all those kind of things which we have already recognized in the last 3-4 years. So the major chunk will be happening now onward. To say that amongst the 3 large projects of the Navy, now you will see the so-called the cream or the butter, whatever we call that, would be now getting skimmed. So that will be giving us the huge revenue when major equipment will start going on board ships. So on all the 3 ships, 3 projects. As I told you that in the beginning, that you see that both survey vessel and ASW shallow water project, if you look at the last year, first half of the last year, we only got around 18 odd crores, 13 crores in the survey vessel project and 5 odd crores in the ASW shallow watercraft project. But this year, this first H1 of this year, we have got 161 or 162 crores in SVL and 141 crores in ASW shallow watercraft. So these figures are going to go up much higher because equipment start going on board. Right?
Fair enough, sir. This was very helpful. Thank you and wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vikas Kasturi from Focus Capital. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for your detailed responses to all the questions. It's really very helpful. Sir, I had just one simple question. For your first P17 Alpha ship, what is the percentage completion of that ship, sir? That's it.
Now, the first ship is almost around close to 30% has got completed. So that is the percentage.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Venkatesh Subramaniam from Logic Tree Investment. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and thank you for the opportunity. So I have a question in terms of the order execution. So in the previous phone calls, you had highlighted to us a bell-shaped curve of the shipbuilding cycle. So considering our current order book and also the simultaneous construction of 17 odd vessels, would we consider FY23 to be a peak revenue recognition year or FY24? Which would be, could you give us some guidance on that?
See, I tell you again, when I say bell curve, which is a typical, let's do the bell curve, is the cycle which is followed in the construction of warship. Now you superimpose the 17 ships construction and over a period of say 2026, 27, FY27 or so. Now different ships will be at different stages of construction. Now what you are asking that goes FY23? No. It will not be peaking.
Okay.
If you see, I have to explain to a lot of other investors, the first ship say 17 is 30%. Now it is entered into phase 2. Now, Survey Vessel Large, first ship, is going to get launched. It is going to get launched with 40% construction completion. It's the first time happening in the history of the GRSC that when you launch the ship with 40%, it means a lot of equipment is already gone on board ship.
Right.
So therefore, you see that the second 70 alpha, I'm doing 1.5% per month, and a lot of equipment are getting lowered on board much before the launching. So therefore, over the period of coming years, I would say that what the question actually asking that you will just take a simple thing from me at this point of time that what you have seen in the past, now we have entered into the golden phase. From FY23 onwards, if you say that, we'll be entering into golden phase. Sometime, maybe FY23, maybe FY24 or so, you'll be seeing the peak somewhere. But you'll be seeing only the upward curve. There's no other going back because this is the money available and the progress is happening quite good. A lot of lessons have been learned. Okay, so therefore, we have, as a shipyard, we have no choice but to ensure that all those things happen as per the plan. And thankfully, this is all happening. The impacts have not, in fact, badly affected us. So I'm pretty sure that the coming years is going to be fantastic as far as the revenue recognition and growth is concerned.
Got it, sir. Got it. Thank you. So I just said a general comment, sir. Tracking GRSC for a few years now, and also I've been speaking to some market participants. I want to convey my appreciation to the way you and your team have actually executed this amidst this wave, and the way you come across in terms of execution is phenomenal. So I've not even seen it in some private sector companies, sir. It's hats off to you.
Thank you so much. Very encouraging words. I'm grateful to you and to all my investors that they have such kind of confidence, and my job is to ensure that I must live up to the expectations of my investors and Government of India. That's what is my job. And I'm always learning lessons and trying to implement the new strategies, new things, and do hope that company shall continue to do well. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sunil Shah from Turtle Star Portfolio. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Sir, there was a media post somewhere in September end. It was about inviting suitable candidates, for the post of CMD. Sir, so ideally, meaning all our investors would want you to continue for a long, long time for sure. Sir, that goes without saying. Earlier, my colleague or other analysts also mentioned the same thing. Sir, what I was asking here is, what are your thoughts on leaving the legacy in the company, and what are the areas that you think that you can work upon in GREC in the foreseeable near future, where we can improve upon as a company? So that's my, if you could give me some understanding on that part.
See, when we work in the company towards, doing certain things, you are not doing only as an individual. Of course, I have to lead the company from the front and drive those agenda and those decisions. And but it is the complete team which works. Different departments, finance, HR, production, design, so many other departments. What actually I have always worked towards is that not to attack the symptoms, not to look at the stages, not to look at the milestones alone. Look at the grassroots problems, look at the issues which generally are plaguing the PSUs or DPSUs. So we have, over the period of my stay here and my tenure, I have tried to address those things, eliminate wherever it is possible within my control, and look at the possibility of improvement. So these all things are getting documented, different kind of things have been done, so aim is to develop that kind of a self-sustaining system and departments and the people who should be able to drive the agenda, continue, because nobody on the earth can ever continue in any position forever or in the earth itself. One has to depart one day from this mother earth. So therefore, I am hopeful that the things which I have tried to set in, remove the bottlenecks, remove those troubled areas, Of course, there are large number, but some major ones which I have targeted have been able to take care of those things. So the company naturally is now in a position to simply move ahead, follow the road, follow the path, and continue in an accelerated mode and achieve the results. Thankfully, the order book is good, and with those lessons that have been learned, we should be looking at domestic as well as export orders. Export is our big thrust, and I'm sure that the company is in a good position to start looking at some more and more export orders, not only in the warship construction, but any kind of ships or platform construction anywhere. So I'm not restricting my company only to simply the warship. We have seen that Bangladesh, 6 patrol boats, put us order. But again, the aim is to get into the country, some country, and so that you are having a presence built there. So those are the strategy, and I'm sure that my successors and others who are my team will be following those kind of things. So I think we should not worry on that.
Yeah. Congratulations, and we are all fortunate to have you doing all these things over here. Thank you so much, sir, for all the things that have been doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mohit Kumar from DAM Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Audible? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So my question is, of course, it's late. If I'm asking again, please pardon me. So my question is, sir, how is the order, prospect looking like? Which are the orders you're targeting, which you expect to close in second half or FY23?
See, I have just explained this question to somebody when he asked about the orders. You are saying about the new orders?
Yes, the new order prospect for H2 and FY23. Which are the orders which we are chasing at this point of time? And are we comfortable with the order book right now, or are we going slower at this point of time? There are two questions.
Yeah. As far as the new orders are concerned, I told you we have submitted the response to the RFPs of the projects of the new generation offshore petrol vessels of the Indian Navy, 11 in number, 7 plus 4. So 7 will be for the L1 and 4 will be L2. Then the fast petrol vessel, 18 number for the Indian Coast Guard. Then we have the 12 number ACVs, hovercraft for the Army and the Coast Guard. So these are the 3, I would say, substantial orders which we are waiting for. Once the process gets completed in terms of the technical evaluation, we'll get to know, and they will open up the bids, and we'll get to know who becomes the L1 or L2. And so these things are still in pipeline. I am not expecting it when happening in next 6 months or so. So it is going to be going beyond, I would say, FY22. Maybe we'll see something happening in FY23. So as of now, no.
What are the size of the orders, sir? What are the order size?
So I think the fast petrol vessel is around 800 odd crores, but the new generation offshore petrol vessel estimated cost is around 8,000 odd crores for 11 ships. So and hovercraft is also in the range of around 500 plus odd crores for 12 in numbers. So these are the 3 major things are there in pipeline as of now. And of course, we have been submitting the response to the LPD landing platform dock for the foreign numbers, which is a huge one, but is RFI only. RFP will going to come subsequently. It also submitted bids for the low value projects in the export front. Bangladesh we have submitted, and we have already won one order. Not the warship construction, but petrol boats. The tugs are there. Some other boats and our ships are there. So we are working in a direction also. But we are also focusing on the refit vertical, so hope that something should be happening on the refit vertical. We have successfully completed refit of one Mauritian government Coast Guard ship, and now we are getting some smaller orders from the Coast Guard. So hope that this size becomes bigger in the coming time. And also we are looking at the boat building activity as well. So smaller ships, warships, the various other things which are there, and export ships to other countries, smaller ones also. So therefore, this is what we are looking at. And also my smaller units, like engineering products also, they are showing good performance. They're bringing some orders. But then, of course, compared to the shipbuilding, they are much smaller. But they're contributing. The belly bridges unit is one which is only contributed on 50-60 odd crores of the revenue. Similarly, the deck machinery is something which contributes on 25-30 odd crores. And diesel engine plant at Ranchi also contributed on 50-60 odd crores per annum. So these are things which are working, and we are also looking at the newer products, newer strategy that could be coming in place to see to it that these small units also start doubling up their so-called their revenues in the coming years, apart from the shipbuilding. Hello. Hello.
Lost the line for the current participant. We proceed to the next question from the line of Prabir from Ratnabali Investment. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. So I have three questions. First question is, I want to understand, like today we have around order book of around 17 ships. So are these to be completed by FY27?
Yeah, so yes. If I look at the COVID impact and post measure that is being given by the government also, we may go to ASW shallow water craft. Last ship probably may go to FY28. But otherwise, many ships all would be completing by FY27 or so.
Okay.
That is, I'm sure.
Okay. So my second question is, you have around 8 ASW ships. Now these ships, what is the cycle of execution? Is it 3 years or 5 years?
See, as per the contract, the ASW shallow watercraft ships, although they are size-wise, they are smaller compared to the survey vessel, but because of the complexity and equipment density, it is having a construction cycle of 42 months each ship. Okay. So, but the thing is that when the first ship construction is happening, naturally you are actually taking a lot of time in the design. Okay, after design is getting done, and then thereafter drawings are getting released, and the ship construction is happening. So what strategy we have adopted is that the 4 ships are getting constructed at the L&T, who is my sub-vendor, to construct some of the 4 hulls, and some outfitting also going to be done there. And I will be also constructing 4 ships at the GRSC. So you see that 2 geography, the 8 ships are going to get constructed. Of course, so it is not that after 42 months, there will be another 42 months for the second ship delivery. So the second ship would be in the interval of 6 months. Third ship again 6 months. So this is what is going to be the cycle.
Okay.
Survey vessel, the period of construction is 36 months, while it is 3,400-ton ship, much bigger. But it is not that much complicated as compared to the smaller platform like ASW shallow water craft. So it has got 36 months, and that is what is now I would say at the GRSE, we are launching the ship shortly.
Okay. So my third question is related to Project Alpha, the third ship. So any estimated time, like it will start it will go to the production and the launch date probably?
Oh, I think we have not listed. I must say that the ship has already started construction. Already production has already started. I have achieved 3%. Now 3% means it has got 92 blocks. The ship is divided into different blocks. And out of 92 blocks, a large number of blocks has already got constructed some places. But the integration of those blocks on the building berth has happened, so it is giving me 3% of the, unless the blocks are brought to the building berth or the dry dock, you don't get the percent. So here I have already achieved around 3% plus, but other blocks which are ready would be also coming in and going to get integrated. So therefore, this ship, third ship, is also start going at a fast pace as far as the hull construction is concerned. So maybe we will be achieving 1% or 0.8% per month for this ship, third ship. While the second ship I am achieving almost 1.5% or so average. So this is how this is a fairly big ship. I explained that this is a very, very big ship. 6,670 tons, 150-meter long ship. Okay, so this is the size.
Which launch date of this third ship? What would be the
second ship, I must tell you, is going to be launched somewhere in mid of next year, ahead of schedule. Third ship is going to get launched, that is third 17 Alpha is going to be launched somewhere around 1 year, or if all things goes well, maybe ahead of, maybe in 10 months time from the launch of the second ship. So suppose if the second ship gets launched in the month of May / June, you can safely take 1 year from there. That is, that is 23 June or so, the third ship would get launched. If all goes well, and as per my plans, probably we'll be able to save 2 months further. I may launch, say, in the month of March / April also, the third ship. So based on lessons learned and no other impediment coming in.
Yes, understood. Now, last question I have. In your DRHP, stated like Indian Navy has a plan to move to 200 ships from current 140 odd ships, and roughly it will spend 1 lakh crore in destroyers and frigates. So if I calculate roughly per year, next 5 years around 20,000 crores of order, is it a fair way to calculate what kind of opportunity can come in the frigate and destroyer segment?
Yeah, as of now, if I recall the Navy's plans in the coming, say, decade or so, next 5 years, I expect the RFPs that would be coming out would be for the construction of next generation corvettes, which is again fairly complex warships, corvettes, not the frigate. Next generation corvettes, that would be around, say, 4 to 6 a number that Navy will decide, and they will fairly complicated ones. Somewhere, smaller than frigate, but larger than the frigate which we have already built. 10 frigates we have built earlier. So this is what is the major one which is going to be coming out as per the Naval Capability Perspective Plan, 2027 they call it. And then next is that new generation destroyers. This is a huge ship, around 8 to 10,000 tons warship, which is bigger than 17 Alpha destroyers. So this is what is also going to be coming up as a big project. So amongst the bigger ones, there will be a number of other small auxiliary platforms, etc. will be coming up. So frigate, maybe some follow-on 17 Alpha or some such kind of things might come up 2 or 3 or 4. But as of now, that is not clearly enunciated by the Navy. But what we are seeing that, so their plans are there, 200 ships Navy by end of this decade, and how fast the RFPs, etc. comes out, and how fast they are able to convert the RFPs into the orders, so that the respective shipyard, whichever has win, will start constructing the ships.
Okay. So I understood. Thank you for answering my questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference back to the management for closing comments. Members of the management, you may go ahead with your closing remarks.
Once again, thank you very much all our investors, valued investors, and the analysts, if they are present there, and all the stakeholders for joining us in this teleconference today about the performance of the company after the quarter 2 results. And as I have just spoken to all of you, and can only assure that the company is moving on the right path, and in the times ahead, the kind of things we have done and those things which are implemented, I'm sure that the shipyard is going to show you a good performance, and then this financial year should be much more brighter for us, and we expect a good growth for the shipyard in the times ahead and then in the coming years. So the shipyard, I must once again assure you that we in the shipyard are putting our best effort to see to it that apart from the top line alone, the bottom line must improve, the margins must improve, the so-called I would say various other procedural things which are there are required to be improved. Refinement of various things should happen, and more technology should get inducted in the shipbuilding, which has not been the norms earlier in this country, and we are doing our best to get those kind of things inducted in a progressive manner, and that is what is expected to give us good results. So once again, thank you very much being part of us and trusting us, and hope that your company is going to be doing quite well in this financial year also. Thank you very much. All the very best to you and to your family.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the conference call. If you have any further queries, please send an email to gaurav.g@conceptpr.com. I repeat, gaurav.g@conceptpr.com. Thank you.